The rise and fall of high-protein diets is nothing new, but their persistence and increasing extremism should be cause for concern. Over the past several decades, we have seen diet fads cycle through various forms, from Atkins to paleo to keto, and now to the even more radical carnivore diet. At their core, these diets are built on the disproven belief that humans are meant to eat mostly or only meat, a narrative that not only ignores nutritional science, but also has serious consequences for human health, the environment, and society at large. Despite growing evidence that excessive protein consumption, especially from animal sources, is unsustainable and potentially dangerous, the cultural and political obsession with meat continues to drive these diets forward, with alarming implications. High-protein diets often claim to be rooted in evolutionary necessity, arguing that humans evolved as hypercarnivorous predators. However, anthropological and scientific research contradicts this narrative, showing that early humans were omnivorous, relying heavily on plant-based foods alongside animal protein. Despite this, the idea that consuming large amounts of meat is natural has gained traction, in part due to social media influencers, celebrity endorsements, and a broader cultural movement that links meat consumption with strength, masculinity, and national identity. The modern food industry has seized on this obsession, aggressively marketing protein as a superfood while conveniently ignoring the long-term health risks associated with excessive intake. The impact of these diets extends far beyond the individual level. While proponents of high-protein eating celebrate its supposed health benefits, research increasingly points to the dangers of consuming too much protein, particularly from red and processed meats. Studies have linked high-protein diets to increased risks of heart disease, kidney problems, certain cancers, and metabolic disorders. The carnivore diet, which eliminates all plant foods, creates an especially dangerous nutritional imbalance, depriving the body of essential fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. A recent study found that those following a strict carnivore diet were at higher risk for kidney stones due to an overabundance of animal-based compounds. Another study suggested that high-protein, low-carb diets could contribute to liver toxicity and neurological disorders over time. While some people experience short-term weight loss on these diets, the long-term consequences may outweigh any temporary benefits. Beyond health concerns, the environmental impact of high-protein diets is undeniable. The livestock industry is one of the largest contributors to climate change, responsible for significant greenhouse gas emissions, deforestation, and biodiversity loss. The production of beef, in particular, is a major driver of methane emissions, a greenhouse gas far more potent than carbon dioxide. High-protein diets that encourage increased meat consumption only exacerbate these environmental issues, making them fundamentally unsustainable on a global scale. At current rates, the world cannot support a widespread shift toward meat-heavy diets without accelerating ecological collapse. Despite this, high-protein diet advocates often dismiss or outright deny the environmental costs, prioritizing personal dietary preferences over the well-being of the planet. Perhaps most troubling is the way in which high-protein diets have become entangled with political and ideological movements. The promotion of meat-heavy eating has increasingly been tied to right-wing ideologies, with figures like Jordan Peterson and Joe Rogan framing the consumption of animal protein as a form of resistance against progressive movements advocating for sustainability and plant-based diets. In some circles, rejecting meat is seen as a rejection of traditional values, while embracing high-protein diets is positioned as an assertion of masculinity and independence. This cultural and political entrenchment makes it even more difficult to have rational discussions about the risks of excessive protein consumption, as any criticism is often met with hostility and misinformation. The push for high-protein diets is not just a matter of personal choice. It is a manufactured trend driven by corporate interests, cultural biases, and political narratives. The food industry has invested heavily in promoting protein as an essential nutrient, even though most people in developed countries already consume more than they need. The marketing of protein powders, supplements, and meat-heavy meal plans has turned this dietary obsession into a multi-billion-dollar industry. In reality, a balanced diet that includes a variety of plant-based foods provides all the protein most people need, without the added health risks and environmental destruction. Despite the mounting evidence against high-protein diets, their popularity continues to grow, largely due to aggressive marketing and the illusion of scientific legitimacy. The cycle repeats itself every few years, with each new diet promising health benefits while conveniently ignoring the long-term consequences. The truth is that high-protein diets, particularly those focused on animal products, are neither necessary nor sustainable. They come at a significant cost to our health, our planet, and our society, making it imperative that we critically examine the narratives driving this ongoing obsession. If the pattern of dietary trends continues, we may soon see yet another rebranded version of the high-protein diet emerge, repackaged with new promises and justifications. But the underlying risks will remain the same. Instead of falling into the trap of dietary extremism, we should be focusing on balanced, science-backed approaches to nutrition that promote long-term well-being without sacrificing our health or the environment. The high-protein craze is not just a passing fad. It is a dangerous and unsustainable trend that we can no longer afford to ignore.